You don't have to be a master engineer. You don't have to be an economic expert. You can watch and say, here's what I noticed happening. Oh gosh, everything was selling within 7 days. Now I see 20 days on market, 27 days on market. There was only 4 houses in my buy box. Now I see 14. Like, this is simple stuff that like doesn't take crazy amounts of skill to understand or see.
Consistency, just consistency.
Does take work, right? It takes consistency and work. And so people that do it are going to win for sure.
So this week we've already gotten a soft JOLTS report. We just got a very soft ADP report. We're a day and a half away from potentially getting a very soft BLS report or jobs number on Friday. Lo and behold, we're seeing rates come down. I think there was a time where bad news was good news. Now bad news is bad news. I think the 10-year has fallen enough where we might go sub 7% again on 30-year mortgage. But to have this conversation, we're going to do that with Matt, the mortgage guy. What's going on?
Well, here we are. You know, rates are green for 3 days straight, and everybody's cheering. Which it might be good timing because inventory started to creep up, and the market feels a little bit slower. So, you know, these rates coming down, and especially having a downward trajectory, is going to motivate some buyers. You know, it's going to pull more buyers off the sideline, and there's going to be some stuff for them actually to buy, which is good news. I'm already seeing, you know, inventory up, buyers not having as hard of a time get their offers accepted. And so, you know, looks to be a relatively busy summer for me and for real estate pros. But yeah, 4.29 on the 10-year, and mortgage rates that were 7.5, it feels like not that long ago. Now we're starting to look at, all right, it's only a quarter point for this scenario to get to 6.99. I locked one Monday. Granted, it cost a little bit, but it was an investment property at 6.99.
Oh, wow. An investment property, which again, folks, if you don't know what that means, typically those are at, you know, somewhere 3/4 to a point higher. So we're talking an investment loan sub 7%. So let's talk about it. I think there's a couple of things. Again, we bring on real estate agents, mortgage brokers every week on this channel because we do it every week. We can really see the seasons change. I'm going to make a declaration, agree or disagree. The spring selling season is over. What do you think?
Well, that's hard for me because I guess it depends on how you define that. Because I think there's going to be a lot of transactions that happen in the next couple of months because of sidelined buyers.
Okay.
Who lost out due to it being highly competitive. They're still there, Mike. My pre-approval application is still there, and they're going to buy. And I think that like over the next 60 days, and maybe this is just my book of business or my view of what I'm seeing, like school's out and it's not very long, 60 to 75 days until a lot of people go back to school. This is when they want to move. And so I think if you think about it from the perspective of the ORaaT community, if you want to find a motivated buyer, they're like, we have to sell. Like, this house has got to go because we got to get to that school district, or we got to go over there. And so I'm seeing some of that right now. I just got a call from an agent this morning who said, Matt, I don't know what it is, but my client's got to sell. They own this house free and clear. So if you got someone interested, bring us an offer. Like, that is absolute music to the ears of somebody like me who's team buy side or investor community. Like, when the sellers are starting to get a little bit worried is when you should be super, super excited.
Again, I told you guys this was coming. I told you this was coming. The market was going to slow down. 7% rates had the market slow down. Inventory has built. Days on market. What does that mean? We are very, very, very soon. It's going to be easier to find who wants to sell and who needs to sell. When you need to sell, you tell your agent to call people in their network and tell them, whisper, hey, my guys are open. They're open to an offer. They need out. Get me something.
Right.
Again, I keep telling you guys, watch days on market. Write disrespectful offers. And I'm not talking 5% off. I had somebody ask me the other day, is 5% off disrespectful? And I laughed. I'm talking 20, 25, 30. And again, folks, you're not supposed to get every deal.
Yeah,
Most
I
of
think
you,
something I want to pause real quick. I want to highlight this because this is so important. As somebody who's an investor in my personal life, a mortgage broker, and daily activities include a lot of real estate conversations. It is so vitally important. You, your real estate agent, your mortgage advisor have to be of the kind that are having the conversations, because to your point, there's have to sell. And then if you make the call or your agent makes the call and talks and says, listen, if they don't get $1,075,000, which gets them to back out their down payment, they're fine holding this and just renting it. So exactly. That's the magic number for them. If not, no big deal. They're impartial. And then you have, it's free and clear. They got to sell. They're going to lower it significantly in 5 days. So throw in an offer now before that lowering of the price gets more people interested, and maybe somebody pays that number or higher. And so all this information is not going to be in the MLS. All this information isn't advertised on a billboard. And this is why, like, I've had a lot of conversations with clients lately. The best thing you can do is get with a really networked, high level real estate agent who knows how to talk to people, because that's where the gold is. That's where the magic happens. Like, it's a difference whether your offer gets accepted or not. You find motivation, like you said, and you separate, right? Because if you're an investor and you're looking for the best price, somebody who's like, listen, below 450, I'll just keep it as a rental. And they mean it, right? And so that's super, super important. You don't necessarily have to be a super expert. It helps, if you do the work and you know your market, that's great. But then on top of that, you have to have an agent who, the average consumer is not calling the list side and digging this information out and probably isn't going to get half of it. The agent calls, gets all that information and relays it back to you. I see people win who are partnered with great professionals, and I see people lose and they don't know why. And I'll tell you the secret sauce. The secret sauce is the right pros in your corner.
Yeah, well, here's the deal, folks. Again, what I'm trying to paint a picture for you here is we're finally getting the slowing housing market, which increases your chance of finding a motivated seller. But it is still on you to do the work. You still got to watch the market. You still got to get the drumbeat. You still got to watch days on market. You got to take your shot. You got to be comfortable writing a lot of offers. You got to be comfortable telling your agent, I'm going to write a lot of offers, right? Get a template, get whatever it is to make their job easier, but write a lot of offers, because this is the time where you just don't know which seller owns it free and clear, which seller has 2 mortgage payments, which seller has to go to Texas to be with the grandbabies. Let's talk to the landlord who bought an Airbnb and it's not working out. You don't know who needs to sell versus who wants to sell. It's your job to take your shots. I am so excited. It has been since 2019. 2019 was the last time I felt that doing the work really paid off. 2020, 21, 22, 23, it was cash and speed. If you were lucky enough to be that person, you won. If you didn't win. It was tough. But the market in 2024, second half, certainly 2025, do the work, people. I keep telling you, it's out there. Don't give up.
Yep, I agree 100%. I just got distracted. It's because I saw the latest email from Altos Research, and the data's out there. You live in a world too where you can find pending sales data. If you study it and you look at it, you're gonna figure it out. And I think that that's something that anybody can do. You don't have to be a master engineer. You don't have to be an economic expert. You can watch and say, here's what I noticed happening. Oh gosh, everything was selling within 7 days. Now I see 20 days on market, 27 days on market. There was only 4 houses in my buy box. Now I see 14. This is simple stuff that doesn't take crazy amounts of skill to understand or see.
Consistency, just consistency.
Does take work, right? It takes consistency and work. And so people that do it are going to win for sure.
Yeah, well, I love it. You just hosted the first of what will hopefully be a monthly school session where I wasn't even involved. You just booked it in a Zoom. You had 10 or 12 kind of ORaaT folks in there talking mortgage, asking questions. The community is growing. It's almost doubled in a week. So I expect even more people next time. But talk about the first experience. How was it?
Oh, super fun. My plan is the last Friday of the month at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when we did it, the end of May. And that's when I've got it earmarked for June. Getting in a room and having people just fire specific questions. I'm looking at a debt service coverage ratio loan. The lender told me 799 with this cost. How does that sound? You know what? That's about what the marks bear. If you like and trust this person, they get to the finish line, go ahead. Hey, Matt, ran across this 415 square foot home. I'm having trouble getting lending on it. Even if I don't know the answer, I'm researching it. I reached out to 3 or 4 different lenders and I said, is this, going to be a problem being under 500 square feet? It turns out the square footage is less of a problem than the other stuff it's got going on with it. But, it's fun. It's fun for me because I get presented with scenarios where I get to learn if I don't know it.
Real life examples.
And I think it's valuable too, because truly when I say this, I mean it. I'm not in there looking for business and sending my application link out.
No.
I'm in there saying, how can I help with 10 years of looking at 10,000 mortgages? I can give you an answer on what you're currently looking at, what you're looking to do, what the best way to do it. And it's funny because it's the same point about you do the work every day. You don't have to be a genius. I feel like I'm not the smartest dude in the room. I've just done a lot of mortgage. So when you bring me a scenario, I can say, okay, goal, credit score, down payment, property type. If I was you, what would I do? How would I structure it? What type of loan? And that's the advice I provide, which I think is valuable. And it was fun, man. It was 12 of us throwing around ideas. I think the cool part about any community, especially, ORaaT and joining each other on school, is like, I'm learning from people. Like, oh, I'm in Arizona and I'm, finding sellers and we're putting deals together off market. Maybe 2 community members might connect and say, hey, I've been thinking about some creative financing stuff. Like, what are you doing that's working there? Like, that stuff is super, super valuable. Any real estate agent that's doing anything. Like, I got local guys that are connected with Jason Pritchard and those guys in Fresno. Like, they're all talking to each other, sharing best practices. Here's what's working. Here's what I'm doing. Like, that's the beauty of it. And I love it.
Yeah. No, the school community is really, it's working even better than I expected. We're mashing the millionaires with the active folks in the community doing it. We now have millionaires like yourself contributing time in the school community. We've got folks like Ty, myself, Jason is committed, Bo is committed. They're creating extra free education content. They're putting in there as free classrooms. Man, it's fun to watch a vision come to reality. And dude, it's $20 a month.
Right.
And
it's super valuable because it's one thing to be the guest, but like the $1 million ideas, Mike, are with the community. They've got them. They've got the $1 million ideas. I literally told them too, like, I had a sheet up where I'm taking notes, right? I'm learning. I'm an active investor too. I'm learning with you guys, and we're all masterminding. Like, people would pay $500 to go to an event, sit in a room with other people that are active investors and get a nugget or two that's going to help them in their investing journey. You get to do that multiple times per week with different people in that school community. It's awesome, man. It's only going to grow.
Yeah, I can't wait. Next up, just schedule wise, we got tomorrow morning, Thursday, with Jonathan Twomley. We've got Simon, the uneducated economist, on Sunday. And folks, if you can't join these, no big deal. They're recorded. They will be in the school so you can watch the replay. Don't forget, Matt, next time you got to record the session.
I know. Yeah, I got to press record. I even told myself, or I told you, I'm like, I'm going to set an alarm so I record. Didn't set the alarm, didn't record, but get better every day. That's my motto.
There you go, buddy. If somebody wanted to reach out to you and see what's what with mortgage, see what it costs them to get 699, how do they do that?
Greatmortgagebroker.com. We're licensed in 48 states. We do all kinds of stuff, conventional, conforming stuff, DSCR, bank statement. And at the very least, we're going to give you some good advice. So greatmortgagebroker.com. Let us know where you're at, what you're looking to do. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.